Who can take the sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it in chocolate and a miracle or two? The Candyman. The Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Huh? Oh! Hi, everybody. Aaron Prime 117 here. And welcome back to the movie reviews. In fact, I don't remember what part this is, though. Oh. Anyway, hey, if you could tell by how I was singing what movie this is, well, at least what review it's going to be, hey, take a wild guess, though. And you can sound off in the comments if you want either way. Hey, though, because it will be you know where. Today's movie review is going into a world of pure imagination and all. And what better thing to talk about in pure imagination than chocolate? So if you guessed it well enough and all, even if it's in the title or not, today's movie review is the Wonka movie. That's right. Our very own Candyman, Willy Wonka. The best around, of course, just though in the worlds of imagination and fantasy. I gotta say, when I saw the Wonka movie, it was one of the best imaginative movies yet. Of course, there were rumors that another imaginative movie was coming out the year after, but still, Willy Wonka. There is no better Candyman in the movie universe than he is. And don't get me started on the cartel and all. If you sound that off in the comments, because I cannot stand them and all. Even though they were good to watch, but their methods and stuff were horrendous. Yes. Now, I can't remember the names of the actors and all though, so I'll just go by the character names though. And if you remember those characters, actors' names and all, sound them off in the comments on the ones I mentioned and all. Also, here we go. The Wonka movie was so amazing. Not to mention with all the music and the special songs that were in there and all. Like, how do I put that and all? The introduction was pretty cool and all. How young Willy Wonka arrived at his destination. And after all the work he's put into his chocolate and all. How he wanted to share it with the world. It's like so amazing and all. And the rest of the songs and all, we'll get more into those down the road. But moving in and all, apparently, the way it starts out, like any other kind of businessman and this kind of stuff, even though he's a candy man, not a businessman, but he's willing to do his business well with his chocolate and candy. So, how do I put this and all? Let's fast forward after the first song and all, and past that moment where he finds a place to stay, that scene in the square and all, when he introduces himself to the public and he doesn't know he's being watched though by the members of the chocolate cartel, Slugworth, Ficklebruber. Ugh, I do not know how to say that guy's his last name right, and Prognos, the three best rivals of the chocolate industry and all, and like how he introduces his special chocolate, which is that hover chuck he made to the public and all, and then when the cartel shows up and all and starts being their old usual selfish selves and all, and he doesn't understand it though, because he said he was a fan of theirs and all, and tells him he's a chocolate maker himself. Well, that's when the cartel tried his hover chuck and all. And of course, if you remember watching that scene and all, when they took their first bite out of it though, they were a small loss for words though, because it wasn't just chocolate. Slugworth was like, "It's not just chocolate, there's marshmallow." He actually didn't sound. He really did not sound himself in tasting that. And how Wonka then says, "Yes, harvested from the mallow marshes of Peru." And then Ficklebruber is like, "And it caramel, but it's," and Wonka says, "It's salted with a Switterbeat taste of Russian Glen." I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then like Ficklebruber's face just drops and all. It's like a memory shot, like a good teen, or an adult who tastes a good chocolate that they haven't had in so long, looking like, it was my favorite as a child. Or maybe yet like how their own mother might make it, like they would say, it was my mother's favorite and became mine. And then Prognos is like, is it, like, is that? Surely not. Cherry. Yeah, I'm looking like, man, he's really got the sink in it. And all. Oh, and then Wonka goes, yes, it's cherry picked from the cherry pickers of the Imperial Gardens of Japan. And then Slugworth is like, what? Well, and then all, like, I think he said then, like, what did he say? I think he said, I've been at this job, this occupation for so many years. And then he goes and says, and I have to say, this is the worst chocolate ever. And Willy Wonka says being happy and all, and then he's like, wait, the worst? Then the cartel just starts spewing their crap and all, though, and all in their life and all, how they've been three of the most rivals and all. Oh, and I even almost had a jaw drop when I heard Slugworth say, hey, and a good chocolate must be simple. Oh, none of all this other yada yada stuff and all. And I'm thinking like they did not make him say that and all. Because I was about to be gobsmacked and all. Because I've said this before, or on that same clip and all, on the comments when it was posted on YouTube and all. Well, I was like chocolate can never be simple anymore, and all. Oh, we've had our basic chocolates already for so long and all. Oh, and not to mention chocolate is gonna keep getting complex and all, though, when people are asking for something new. Plus, not to mention, I'm pretty sure their simple chocolates were completely so fattening and all more than what we have in this world today. After everything else and all, I was so gobsmacked and all, and not in the good way. But then after the moment comes when they started flying and all, and all three of them are lost for words and all. We're just saying, well, what's happening and all. And then when Wonka displays it and all, that's the main part of the hoverchuck. It's broken out of its cocoon and all. But I did find it funny when Slugworth said this, though. Oh, you're off your rocker, Wonka! Go, who the right mind wants a chocolate that makes you fly? Oh, and then he's like, let's find out. Opens the jar and like, who's for a hoverchuck? And people trying it, and he's making money with it and all. And then, of course, the scene gets ruined and all when the cops show up and all. Ruining everything and all. But he got his money. He got part of his money, though, to pay the first part of his rent, though in that inn he was staying at. But of course, he was manipulated. That which was so bad and all, though. Oh, and then we get into everything else that happens after that, though. Not to mention, though, Slugworth and all, and the cartel and all. Oh, we're all together. We're in league together and all, though. Though in their little secret lair here under the church. That had to be one of the worst setups and all. Especially, since it's normally how some people say that bribing with money and all or something, though. But they've been bribing so many with chocolate and all. Oh, it makes me wonder and all. Oh, just how much of a good sweet and all, though, can be used for bribery and all. But they did it with the chief of police and all, though. Oh, and also that chief, he was such a scumbag, too. Not to mention, it's so bad and all. His main guy on the outside is good, though, but his character, absolutely ridiculous. And all. Well, especially when the cartel was singing their little Sweet Tooth song. Have you got a sweet tooth? Yada, yada, yada. But I'm looking at him like, oh, just shut up. No. What kind of guys are they anyway? Unfair people is what they are. Not to mention fools. And now, let's go a little bit more into Willy Wonka himself, though. Did anyone not find it kind of really funny and all? And like, what was the funny part of this? That he had never learned to read or write, right, or interpret words and all. And he was learning that from Noodle, which was the girl that was working for Scrubbin' and Bleachin' and in that inn. I was thinking of that, like, what the heck and all. Oh, is that so? Is that like what kind of people are they? Hey, it was just so dramatic and all. Oh, but of course, the fun piece that got into the next song after though, and I don't mean the Scrub Scrub song, but never had chocolate like this and all. No, oh no, wait, there was one more song before that one, though, where Noodle helped Wonka get to the zoo to get some giraffe's milk for some of his chocolate and all. And though using giraffe's milk and all though, that was a new one though. I never understand and how I'd managed to pull something like that off. And then getting into that song, Never Had Chocolate Like This and all though, I was like so impressed and all on what was happening and all. All Wonka's chocolate was helping people all over the city and all. And like all the tasting and all was going so well too. Like the giraffe milk macaroon gave him some love bit and all. And then the barber moment with a hair repair eclair made from ground vanilla from the markets of Manila. That was pretty impressive and all. Just imagine and all though. You're at an old age, and your hair doesn't look so good and all though. One bite out of a chocolate like that and your hair grows back. Like it makes it look good. Well, the world would be a lot better for that when it comes to hairstyles, wouldn't it? It was all pretty good and all. And the cartel knew they were losing ground and all when Wonka was doing this and all. And the police should have just backed off and all though. But of course that chief he couldn't take in and withstand his chocolate obsession, and though with the bribery he's been given by the cartel. Fast forward a little further and all, looking how when Wonka got his store and all though, that was really good too and all though. And it was also the best looking candy shop up yet. Even probably better, almost as, like, maybe better than compared to some of them today. But still, it was a world of your own he was singing, and that was pretty interesting too. But then after the sabotage moment, I don't know what to say and all. Of course we know who was behind that though. Oh. Now, something about this whole story and all though, it's like someone who was so young and all, and yet they wanted to be a magician when they were young, when they wanted to get older, but instead they became a chocolate maker. And like, think about this and all. Wonka's movie and all was kind of like a dream inspiration and all for someone who worked really hard and all into what they did and all for the future and would want to turn it into a good business and all. It's kind of like starting from the ground below and then working your way up and building your own setup and all. Something that we have here in the real world and all. But it takes a lot longer though. But hey, they only had a few flashbacks of Willy Wonka with his mother in childhood, so you know how that all goes, don't you? Why did I just take this Reese out of the wrapper? But hold on one moment though, because... And then thinking more closer to the end and all, how Wonka was going to face the cartel and expose them, and with Noodle, to save her, it was like really impressive and all. But before I go actually a little further into that little bit though, let's look a little bit into the Oompa Loompa Lofty. He was pretty good and all though, and like finally seeing how the Oompa Loompas were a little more like back then and all, it was strange and all. And we actually finally get to see what Loompa Land looked like a little bit in the film, him leading up to Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. That was pretty good and all. And like, even the cocoa beans were mentioned too and all. Not the same way like in Johnny Depp's movie, of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but comparing this one leading up to Gene Wilder's film and all. It was cool to see the guy I play in the Oompa Loompa sing the Oompa Loompa song, but as in a flashback setup instead of a puzzle song, like in Gene Wilder's film was, and in this one, it was like pretty interesting in all the way he did it and all. Oh, pretty fun and all too, especially since our dear Willy Wonka had to pay back a debt for stealing in the cocoa beans. That he got from the island, even though there was only 3 though. But still, he had to pay back 1,000-fold with enough chocolate chocolate and all. Good thing it wasn't money, though. He probably wouldn't have made it at all if it was money. But now going back to the section where Wonka was going to expose the cartel and all looking for that special book and all that was pretty cool to find and all. And knowing how it was all under the church and all, though, and how they were setting up those distractions and all, I didn't know what to believe and all. But it was kind of unorthodox, but it was also pretty funny, too. And not to mention, Jim, when Wonka got stopped by the cartel and found out, though, they tried to get rid of him by drowning him in chocolate, along with Noodle. But of course, we had to be really, it would have been a really bad ending, though. But it was really good to see Lofty come to the rescue and all. And who all here didn't laugh when he threw that empty jar or at that pastor? And the pastor was thinking like come, get a hold of yourself. It's just a little bit of chocolate. And when Lofty said this, correction, and it was actually my chocolate, and then threw the jar right at his head and knocked him out. I was really laughing and all, like I couldn't be even more ecstatic thinking, and wow, how religion with chocolate at its finest. It's going back down on the chute, down the elevator chute, and all like that. I just loved how Lofty said those lines and all, like gentlemen, you have made a grave mistake or a grave error, whatever it was. And said, you steal from an Oompa Loompa, and we take back 1,000-fold, and pulled the pressure release valve, draining all the chocolate and saving Wonka. And after the end of that moment, though, when the chief and the police arrive at the church and all, there are the three cartel members, whereas out in the front and all and the chief struggling to get out of his car and all, because all that bribery from the chocolate he ate just made him obese and overweight, though. It kind of made it look like Willy Wonka's chocolate wouldn't have done that, though. But they're simple. Those three simple chocolates that were made by those guys. I bet they skipped a lot of good steps. Not to mention, the story they told was supposed to be funny and all. But it was also really interesting when Wonka and Noodle emerged from the chapel with the book. And I just loved the expression on Slugworth's face and all looking shocked and all that Wonka was alive. And he was like Wonka! And all, and how he survived and all. And then when they showed that book of all those transactions to the lieutenant and all, he was surprised and all too. And then the chief tried to take the book and all just to save the paperwork and also try to get rid of the evidence and all. And then the lieutenant says, "I'm afraid I can't do that, sir." That he either said sir or chief, though, whatever he said, though. And he's like, "Why not?" And all. And he's like, "'Cause your name is down here." And the chief's expression turns from smirk to pale a little bit. But and I liked how he said this, "Gentlemen," closing the book, "you're under arrest." Looking at the cartel trying to run, then all of a sudden, and then starting to fly, and all, because if you all remember, Wonka gave them a jar of chocolate and all. Thing is, those were hover chucks, and they ate it and all, even though it was for Lofty, And Slugworth tried to make it secure to Wonka, thinking that they could still beat him and all, that he hadn't won anything, and that they would bribe the judge and everything with chocolate, and that or money, and everything would be fine for them. But little did they know, that Noodle, and the other members that Mrs. Scrubbit and Bleachin had finally let go. We're ready with the plan. Turning open all those valves, and out comes all that chocolate spurring from the fountain and all, and the cartel gets blown away, and all. Of course, we all do know what happened to them in the end, but I won't say it though, since you all should know probably what it is when if you post a comment, and now everything that happened in that movie, it was a really cool adventure, and all too. Knowing exactly what it's like to be a chocolatier or something, it was just so amazing and all. And then as we get to the end of the movie and how how Willy Wonka went with Noodle to find her mother, I guess. That was very interesting. And finally, like, throughout the whole movie, one song was missing and I was wondering if it was actually made. And of course it was. Pure Imagination played in the end.
Pause it.
It's your mom, probably.
No, my mom got a call. Probably a spam call. Yeah, I don't know who they are. Row saved. Alright, just continue or edit that. Continue, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue, man.
I'm sorry, wait, are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. We'll just cut that.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So, as we got to the end of the movie and all, with Pure Imagination playing, it was, like, very interesting and all. Not to mention, like, it felt so hard. It felt like the arrow struck the heart or something. But the way it played off first with Willie and getting Noodle to her mother and all. Well, that was like really so love and caring and all too. And of course, then the music starts to pick up a little bit after the little reunion moment, and then when Wonka sees Lofty again and gives him his final jar of chocolate to pay off his debt, and all. Wonka, like when Lofty's about to go and all, and then Wonka gives him a little temptation and all for his factory and all. When he said the lines this, and I need someone to head up the tasting department, and Lofty's like, the tasting department, and then the song starts playing and all, and then it all just goes in and all. The whole song plays and we see where Willy Wonka's factory starts off and all, and like it's all full of color and imagination and all. Some of the fun-filled things you could dream up in a chocolate factory and all. A chocolate river, those pumps, those trees, and using his walking stick as a lever. That was pretty cool and all. And when the song was fully playing, I was like hallelujah. Yep. And then the movie came to an end. And of course, in the credits and all, when Lofty was playing his Oompa Loompa track again, and as a bonus and all, I was like, oh, this has got to be the best of this kind of credit setup ever, for and all. Everyone finally back to their normal lives, and then watching Mrs. Scrubbit and Bleach and get the boot. That was pretty good. So I hope you all enjoyed this one and all, because I enjoyed it so much too, and all, because the Wonka movie, it's an inspiration to chase your dreams and all, and become more than what you were capable of. Not to mention and all, it's just a big inspiration. And like myself and all, an inspiration to chocolate and all. I think it might make me want to cry a little bit though. But I will not cry, because I don't shed tears anymore. But I do feel emotional at times. What can I say? Hey, I've got no control. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will hopefully see you all again in another review down the road and all. Hopefully it won't be too long though till it comes and all. I hope you all enjoyed the review of Wonka, and keep enjoying the chocolate and all too, everybody. I will see you all again soon when the next review comes. Stay tuned, everybody. Aaron Prime 117 signing off into pure imagination.